Hello everyone, this is Edray1416 here with a very touchy subject. A subject that pains me to talk about. But I think it's time I show some courage and talk about why relationships fail. Some people in the comments are going to say that I'm not allowed to talk about this since I've never been in a relationship before. Some people on the other hand could give me credit because I've seen the devastation in people's faces when they break up. It's so sad to see how people never truly recover from failed relationships to a point where people commit suicide. Now let's get one thing out of the way. I'm 30 years old, single, never been in a relationship before. Some of you in the comments section may ask why that is. I'll tell you why. Because I'm a sexist asshole that tells it like it is. If you women don't like what I say, that's your problem, not mine. Sure, there are women that could agree with me on my views, but even they know I'm not good enough for them. I ain't got another 30 years to pursue that relationship when I've given up the quest years ago. It's not worth it. But enough about me. Let's get to the reasons why relationships fail. Number 1. Lust. There's a huge difference between lust and love. Lust is having a strong sexual desire. Most relationships are like this. A man and a woman claim to love each other, but then it gets pretty sexual when the two lock up in the bedroom. Clearly that is not love at all. You can say to your significant other, I love you all you want, but it's hard to genuinely be in love with someone when the woman tells a man that he's going to be a daddy in 9 months. I've seen how this causes both sides of the relationship to be bitter toward one another. Number 2, lack of trust. A relationship just isn't about love and being in love. It's about the trust factor and how a man and a woman can trust each other when they are apart due to real-life responsibilities. The prime example of a lack of trust is of course cheating on the person you claim to love. When this happens, you can bet that bedlam breaks loose regardless of how you try to camouflage it. If you cheat on your significant other, it's your fault for betraying your significant other's trust. Number 3, not taking responsibility. This is a big deal in a relationship. Both the man and the woman are responsible for everything. For men, working to bring home the paycheck, paying the bills, growing their own food for the seasons. For women, taking the man's money after expenses and basically doing whatever with the money. But if the man refuses to work and the woman does work, you know there's going to be a problem. When men refuse to take responsibility, they have a tendency to do stupid things including being abusive, doing drugs, etc. Both sides are responsible for how they manage their relationships. Number 4, communication. This does intertwine with trust, but this is the most obvious sign of a relationship failing. How can you love someone if you don't ever talk to them? No, communicating via text does not count. I'm talking a deep connection between a man and a woman personally. The deep connection lies within communication. Actually talking to one another. Comfort, guide, collaborate on a project, having dinner at a nice place, going to a picture show. I feel as though because of all the texting, especially in the presence of one another, communications and relationships are sinking to all-time lows. And those are the reasons that pains me to see how many people wind up in failed relationships. Will I ever be in a relationship before I die? I don't know. Being 30 years old and single my whole life has its pros and cons. Pros: not spending money on another person, not having to put up with all the arguing, having the freedom to do a lot of things, pursuing a dream freely. Cons: not having someone to talk to, not having someone to snap me out of my miseries, not having help when I need it. When you are divided down the line between the pros and the cons, you know there is something wrong with you. Like I said earlier, I'm a sexist asshole that tells it like it is. For example, I think women should get off the streets and back into the kitchen. Another example, I think women should be self-respecting rather than self-destruction in a socially toxic environment. And this is what the patriarchy represents. Men being men, and men reminding women why it's important to be self-respecting rather than being backwater on the streets. You see what I mean, folks? Anyway, I'm Edray, and I'm out of here.